Now, in the meantime, even when we count down to the next electoral battle between the NDA and the opposition bloc in the state of Bihar, the Election Commission's Special Intensive Revision process, which is S.I.R, is now facing the test of the Supreme Court. Now, as the top court hears the case, top sources tell your channel that the Election Commission has now submitted its affidavit in the case and has responded also to some of the questions that were raised by both the opposition as well as the Supreme Court itself. Let's take you through as far as Election Commission's detailed response to the court is now concerned when we talk about the S.I.R exercise that has now taken place. Mainly when it comes to the response that was now expected on part of the Election Commission of India, that has now been given till the time that the next hearing in the case takes place in the court. So let's put out exactly when it comes to the defense that is now put up by the Election Commission of India in its affidavit that has been submitted before the Supreme Court, saying that the period for enumeration Bihar isn't too short, means people have been given ample time. They have already been saying that over 90% of the population has been covered. Timing is in keeping with the past intensive revisions as well. This is not happening for the first time. And they also have the authority to seek proof of citizenship in the S.I.R in this special intensive revision exercise that is being carried out, and hence Aadhaar doesn't help when it comes to screening of eligibility. This comes to the point where the Supreme Court itself has raised questions on Aadhaar, saying that there are many judgments that are stated Aadhaar is not when it comes to citizenship proof, and also saying that when it comes to its affidavit cannot also use ration card due to rise in fake ration cards itself. So ration card itself will also not be when it comes to proof of your citizenship. But when we speak of the affidavit that has now been raised in the Supreme Court, it is also important to note that the Supreme Court had specifically questioned the Election Commission over some of the more commonly available documents that were omitted from the EC's list. Now, the Supreme Court had asked whether Aadhaar card and ration card could be considered as valid documents for the exercise. The opposition also questioned as to why several documents like Aadhaar and voter ID were not considered as part of eligibility criteria. But here's how the Election Commission has justified omitting many of these crucial documents. Now, what has been the explanation given by the Election Commission in its affidavit why Aadhaar card is not accepted? They have been saying that Aadhaar card is not actually a proof of citizenship because it is considered as a supplementary document. Also saying that why voter ID card is not considered as evidence, saying that they cannot accept EPIC and fresh revision process because voter ID issued is based on existing voter roll, and in this case voter roll itself is now being revised. So EPIC is only being considered for identity purposes. Now, why ration card is also not being accepted, this is a point that has been raised by the top court itself, saying that there has been widespread fake ration cards that has been in circulation through sources. Now, what we are learning, this seems to be as far as the criteria in which the Election Commission omitted when it comes to justifying your citizenship, when it comes to this S.I.R role revision exercise that has been taking place in Bihar. Let's get in a word from Harish now, who is joining us here on the broadcast on the phone line. Good morning, Harish. When we speak of the affidavit before the hearing takes place in the top court, this is going to be a matter that would be taken up by the opposition in the parliament as well. But what does the Election Commission affidavit say?
Yes, in fact, Amita, good morning. Because remember, in its interim order on July 10th, the Supreme Court had said that it would be in the interest of justice if the Election Commission also considers the following three documents: Aadhaar card, Electoral ID card, and Ration card, as these documents would satisfy most of the petitioners and voters' interests, and therefore, in our prima facie view, it would be in the interest of justice if the Election Commission also considers these documents. But the Election Commission of India has taken a very bold stand. Election Commission has rejected SC plea to consider Aadhaar, voter ID card and Ration card as document for inclusion in voter list. Says Aadhaar is not a proof of citizenship. In fact, and also said that Supreme Court too had the Puttaswamy judgment that held that Aadhaar is not a proof of citizenship, and voter ID can't be allowed as it's a fresh revision of roles. Ration card cannot be considered as there is a widespread existence of fake ration cards. And Election Commission also very significantly says that it has right to verify citizenship, but assures that citizenship of an individual won't be terminated on account of being held ineligible as an elector.
Okay.
And defending its power to verify citizenship, the affidavit very significantly said that it had authority to seek proof of citizenship during the S.I.R. drive. It was questioned earlier by Supreme Court. Election Commission says it has a constitutional duty and authority to determine whether requirement of citizenship is fulfilled by electors, but citizenship of an individual will not be terminated on account of being held ineligible as a voter.
So remains to be seen if it answers as far as the issues and the concerns that were raised by the opposition and the Supreme Court itself, as far as this has been the response that has now been filed by the Election Commission to the top court through sources, what we are learning till the time that the next hearing in the case takes up. Meanwhile, as far as the opposition is concerned, what is being said that today this issue is going to rage as far as in the monsoon session of Parliament is concerned. We'll keep our eyes out on all the updates that are now coming in. In the meantime, we head into a short break. You're watching